you know, the Finger Lakes area, if you guys know this area, is a tertiary market. And I don't know if is it considered a tertiary market? I'm not sure, you know. I would definitely say secondary to tertiary. And if you guys know this area, and I do know this area very well, it's very beautiful. And I had a student actually buy a facility in Binghamton, you know, if y'all know this area. And so I know, and I remember the numbers that she had as well too. So that's why I know the typical area is around like a 6 cap. We were running the numbers, $800,000 at a 6 cap. I'm sorry, it was $800,000 purchase at a 6 cap. It was being, you know, and it was making around 100 grand. I think it was $108,000. And it was about 12,000 square feet, and it was 99 units or so. And it came out to a valuation of $895,000. And the taxes were about $23,000. There was no utilities or anything like that. So we're kind of we're looking at the numbers. And he was basically saying, you know, would you buy something like this? Personally, for me, that's like, when I see like income producing property deals, that's like a typical income producing property deal for me. That's a very, very typical deal. Those are the type of deals when you see that, you want to hold on to those. That's a good buy and hold property, right? And we were looking at the competitive analysis, right? So all my students essentially fill out a sheet where you do the competitive analysis, you look at all the competitors. And in the area, there was, you know, a couple of competitors. And we were looking at, of course, you know, climate controlled versus non-climate controlled. And in the area, he said that he called all the competitors, and the non-climate controlled was not filled, but the climate controlled was filled. So maybe in New York, people want like heated storage for the winter, when they want air conditioning in the summer, you know, I'm not 100% sure. But one of his competitors was Bolt, right? If you guys know Bolt, you know, Bolt is like kind of it's a bigger, like not franchise, but it's a bigger like company that owns like a whole bunch of storage facilities, typically in the north, like in New York, but they are spreading out and they're going east, they're going all over. I know the owner, and he lives in Georgia, and his prices, and then there was one other competitor that their prices were like way above everybody else's. All right. They were at like for a 5x5, it was like, like a 10, sorry, not 5x5, a 10x10, it was like $125 a month. Right. Whereas everybody else was like $60 or $70 or $80 a month. Now, when I see all the competitors, and these were for non-climate controlled units, and he said, and my student had said he called all the competitors, and some of the competitors actually had climate controlled and non-climate controlled, and some of them, you know, just had non-climate controlled. All the ones that had non-climate controlled were like not 100% full. They were anywhere from like 60, 70, 80, 90% full. But if you had climate controlled, you were full, right? Everything was full. All right. Now, so my thought for that, first of all, is like, you know, what does New York call for? Does New York call for climate control? I mean, typically overall in the industry, it's really kind of an 80-20 rule. You guys tell me if you see something different, but I see really 80-20. 80% is non-climate control and 20% is climate control. Now, there might be a little bit more climate control coming out, but I feel like there's still like, there wouldn't be any more than like a 70-30 split. Typically, most of it is going to be non-climate control. So maybe in that area it calls for climate control. But so what I'm thinking in terms of market, so I'm thinking of like competitive analysis. I'm looking at like that deal. And I told him anyways, I said, put an offer in, you know, because the guy wants an offer, that he wants to sell his facility. So I was like, you have to put an offer in. If he wants to sell his facility, you put an offer in. Even if the offer is not like what he's asking for. He's asking for $800,000.